Hello again. This is Chris Lee and Chase Robinson of Southeastern 16 here to preview Auburn's road trip to Kentucky. You can catch that 6:45 on the SEC Network. Kentucky is favored by 2.5 with an over and under of 42, making for an implied final score along the lines of Kentucky 23, Auburn 20, or 22-20 to be more precise. But both defenses have been really good, but boy, when the offenses take the field in this one, it is a cover your eyes game. Kentucky has done some good things, beat Ole Miss, but was not able to capitalize on that momentum after a week off, lost to Vanderbilt at home, and then blown out at Florida, giving up 48 points. Never would have imagined that. And Auburn, I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's gotten to the point where we've hit all the spots on the bingo card, and now we're making up spots, which include opposing cornerback comes out of the hospital mid-game to beat you. That's just the kind of season it's been for Auburn.
Yeah, when you look at Kentucky, look, I would, if I looked at their record, if you told me a couple of months ago and we're doing this on October 21st that Kentucky would be 3-4, 1-4 the SEC, I would not have thought their win would have been against Ole Miss, but it was. They beat a good Ole Miss team in Oxford, and I thought, okay, this Kentucky about to turn a corner. We knew their defense was going to be good. We talked about that all summer in the offseason. But yeah, their offense has just been it's been sketchy, and you could say the same thing for Auburn. Offense is just they've turned the ball over. They'll make a good play and then give up 5 good plays to the opponent. That's just how it's been for Auburn. And so, this is going to be an interesting game. Both teams I feel like need to win this game, and could be a moment for these teams where, hey, you go out and win, you get some confidence and can finish the season strong. But this is a game I feel like not a lot of points will be scored. A little defensive battle I think we'll see Saturday night in Lexington, Kentucky.
All right, we'll start with Auburn having the ball. We always go visitor ball first. So Auburn averaging 28.1 points on 61 snaps a game, a 3.7% turnover rate. That's the biggest issue. Although Auburn hadn't been turning it over as much lately and is still finding ways to lose games. Tigers average 5.8 yards per rushing play. That's outstanding. Jarquez Hunter, one of the better backs around. 7.9 on passing plays, when it's not being intercepted. Giving up sacks nearly 7% of the time. Kentucky's defense is outstanding. I think a little better than the numbers here are going to show. Florida kind of blew them up a bit. Kentucky giving up 19.3 a game on just 51 snaps. So that's something to watch. The defense stays off the field pretty well. Kentucky forces turnovers at a 2.2% rate. Teams run at 57% of the time, 4.1 yards on rushing plays, 7.5 on passing, and the Cats get sacks on 10% of passing plays, 5.6 yards per snap. It's just, can Peyton Throrne find any confidence? Can they get the ball to Jarquez Hunter maybe 25 times? And even if they do, Kentucky's led by Deone Walker up front, Derek Jackson, J.J. Weaver, Max Harrison in the secondary if he's healthy, which has been an issue lately. But, boy, it's a fearsome bunch they'll face.
Yeah, and, Kentucky has been fairly good at stopping the run. And Jarquez Hunter needs to touch the ball a lot. And Hugh Freeze noted that in his press conference last week in the bye week. He said, we got to get 27 the ball more. And they did not. Saturday. He could have touched the ball way more than he did. And they made some good plays. I feel like Peyton Throrne had a couple of great throws. Cam Coleman made a great catch but then they stalled out and fumbled the ball and all that. So I feel like there's been some really good moments for Auburn where you're like, okay, here they go. Here's the confidence booster Peyton Throrne needs. Yeah. And then there's a mistake or whatever. And I feel like just as I was watching the game Saturday, I really wanted to watch how Peyton Throrne reacted to certain situations. If something bad happened, what his response was. And I feel like just after several things occurred, I feel like he he just got down and it was hard for him to come back. And so that's something I'm looking for Auburn to do, and specifically Peyton Thorne, is to be able to bounce back from adversity. Things are going to happen. Every quarterback will tell you, hey, things are going to happen, but it's your response, how you keep leading the team, I think is big. And so, I think that's something I'd like to see from Peyton Thorne is hey, just keep your head down and keep playing football. Because look, again, he had some great throws and has had some great throws this season. And I think he can finish out the season strong. I think Auburn can too. They have the weapons offensively to do that. It's just keeping your head down and keep it locked in and playing the football game and finishing it is, I think, what Auburn needs to do offensively.
Yeah, Coleman, Simmons, Lambert-Smith, they got some dudes here that can catch the ball, but if it had been happening regularly, we wouldn't, the record wouldn't be what it is at this point. But let's flip the side of the matchup. But before we do, tell us about BetOnline, which presents our channel.
Yeah, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. We've got the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, Major League Baseball playoffs, NHL, NBA, to political props. The game's over. You can go to the online casino, get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or one of the over 150 slots games. Head over to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online. The game starts here.
All right, when Kentucky's got the ball, the Cats are averaging 64 snaps a game, 20.4 points, a 2% turnover rate. They run it 57% of the time, 4.8 yards per rushing play, 5.3 for passing, 5 point flat on a per snap basis for the Kentucky offense. Auburn's defense, here are the numbers: 69 snaps a game, 20.9 points, 1.2% turnover rate. Teams throw it 51% of the time, 6 yards flat a pass play, 3.9 per rush, for a very respectable 4.9 yards per snap. I think the key for Kentucky is just hanging on to the ball, getting it to Barion Brown and Maclin and Dane Key, who's been their best receiver statistically, but it's just been one thing after another. It's either been Brock Vandagriff making bad throws or the offensive line not protecting. I don't know why they can't field a more competent offense year in and year out in Lexington. It's mystifying to me because they've had some talented players and they've got them now, but it seems like it just doesn't come together a lot of years, and it's certainly not doing that right now.
No, it's not. And that's something you would like to see, get better. What can they do in the offseason to make that better? Because, your football program is not going to get better just staying, like this offensively. They're going to have to make some changes. They're going to have to get some other folks involved here. And so, again, I think they could be so much better because they do have various weapons on the field. It's just getting them the ball and being consistent. And that is something we have not seen from Kentucky this season.
Yeah. Picks and why. We'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm going to take Kentucky at home. I can't pick Auburn yet. They have not proved any reason for me to do that. Again, Kentucky has had some good moments. I definitely think this is a winnable game for the Wildcats at home.
Yeah, I do too. I'm going same thing. If it were at Auburn, I'd probably take Auburn, or I might not. I don't know. I mean, at least Kentucky has shown it knows how to win a game. It beat Ole Miss. Auburn, goodness, I don't think Auburn's beaten a Power 5 team this year. It's 2 wins of being against Alabama, A&M, and New Mexico. Now, statistically, the folks who run the predictive models will tell you Auburn's probably a top 40 team, but it's just not playing out that way. So give me the Cats as well. When this one's over, we'll be talking about it along with all the other SEC games. To get that, hit that subscribe button. That's free. Enable your notifications and patronize our sponsors. If you're interested in sponsorship, we reach millions a year. Caroline.smith@southeastern14.com is where you go. For Chase Robinson, I'm Chris Lee. You're watching Southeastern 16, presented by BetOnline.